Yes, everyone, how are we doing? What is he wearing, you're saying? It's a hooded towel, okay? It's raining, got wet at work. It's a hooded towel. Hope everyone's good. Yeah, day 2 of the Daily Dirt. Woke up this morning going almost like I'm hungover, oh fucking hell, did I really say I was going to do like daily or regular videos? Oh, was that me? Is that me? And yeah, alcohol gets rid of a lot of problems, but my God, does it bring out the real side of your personality, and parts of me is quite hard to live with. And that's me saying it. So spare a thought for my close family and friends, would you? Yeah, I hope everyone's good. I've said that 4 times. Doesn't change anything. Each time I say it, no one can answer immediately. It's a pointless thing to say. It just allows me time to actually process my own thoughts. What I wanted to speak about was, I woke up this morning, like I said, not feeling that great. And it's Friday as well, which is strange. Usually Friday, I'm like, yes, Friday. Everyone loves Friday. It is the best day. I just wasn't feeling it, and it was raining, and got to work, and it's a bit of a shit day at work, and I was like, oh, is this Friday, really? Is this it? And I guess when I'm feeling like that, I can quite quickly turn my attention to negative things and center my thoughts around things I don't like, things that piss me off, people that piss me off especially. And I get that thinking about people that you can't stand can actually be quite enjoyable. I sometimes love looking at people who I hate with a passion. No, I don't mean like evil people like Donald Trump or awful people. I just mean people who aesthetically I look at and I'm just going like, oh, fucking hell. And I quite like that feeling. I think it's a bit toxic to do. I quite like doing it. But when I'm feeling shit and I get in that trap almost of just focusing on negative things, looking for them, does not make me feel any better, and it obviously makes me feel worse. It's a bit like there's an experiment they did, I think in like 2000s, roughly. You can tell I'm a well-trained psychologist going like, yeah, it's like an experiment in the 2000s sometime. But they got some people to pass a basketball around a room, and they got someone to watch the video of it, and they said, right, count how many passes they do in the minute. Halfway through the minute, a gorilla comes into the middle of the video, starts beating its chest, and then just like pisses off. And video finishes, they go, right, how many passes did they do? And they were like, 15. And they're like, lovely, well done. Did you see the gorilla? And they went like, what, gorilla? And obviously the scientists then were like, well, yes, there was actually, and probably felt really good about themselves in that moment, didn't they? This was all for them. But anyway, yeah, they go, yeah, no, there was a gorilla. You just weren't looking for it. So, I don't know what the moral is of their experiment. I suggest they said, watch out for potential primates when watching a leisurely game of basketball, maybe. But anyway, I'm trying to be funny, I shouldn't do that. How I relate that is, if I look for shit things, boy, will I find them. My God, will I find them. You do not have to look far to see something that you either don't like or is bad, is just objectively bad. And the more you do it, the more you can just turn your mind into a sponge that only soaks in the bad vibes. And no one wants to live like that. And people can live for years like that. I've got people I know who got in, the old conspiracy theories back in, well before the Epstein things. They were saying about Epstein, though, ironically. My mates were saying about Epstein, some of them, like 10 years ago, funnily enough. And I was like, shut up and talk about football. But they were right, weren't they? And I feel like the conspiracy theorists deserve a win because they've been going hard on certain theories. And it's nice to see one of them come to fruition. Although it is one of the most evil horrible situations of all time, arguably. But anyway, I digress massively. If you focus on the negative stuff, you're going to find it, and it will become who you are. Maybe just for the day, but that's you for the day. Locked in, going nowhere. You can also do it the opposite. You can look for all the nice things. And that's what I realised after drink was, oh my God, looking up, like birds everywhere. Different coloured birds everywhere. And each bird is nice to look at. I'm not being a pervert. Birds are just great. They make nice noises, all that. So you can do it the opposite way around. It's a pick 'em it. You choose how much negativity and positive things you want in your basket, and then check out at the end of the day. The other thing that I want to talk about, and I must be careful to not moan about this, is sobriety coaches. And Instagram especially, with its promotion of, sickly content, I'll call it, it pushes these sobriety coaches to me at the minute. I think because I'm maybe doing content, I'm looking at content that is to do with mental health, addiction, recovery, all that sort of genre. So it's giving me what they think I want. And the last thing I want is to see a sobriety coach who goes like, from beer to beast in 12 weeks, 600 pounds, who's with me? Them videos of them going, it's just silence, and they're going like that. And it would say like, waiting for men to contact me so I can help them get started. Like, no, hate it. But anyway, not want to moan about that. What I'm saying is, if you're in a position where you're struggling with an addiction or a mental health issue, be careful about paying money to someone who is a coach. And if you are going to pay money to someone who's a coach, make sure they know what they're saying. Make sure they're not just a sober person who thinks that their story can relate to everyone else and their method of getting sober or recovering can work for everyone else. Because the alcoholism or the addiction is not the problem. It is a solution to a problem that lies deeper. 9 times out of 10. There might be times where someone is just accidentally addicted to something because just through habit and boredom. But 9 times out of 10, you'll find that the alcoholic drinks as a solution without knowing it a lot of the time to a deeper problem. And what a sobriety coach often can't do, is look into them problems, help you go deeper into why you're using whatever substance or habit, and are you using it for something else? And it takes years of education and practice and getting all sorts of people's lived experience and bringing together this sort of portfolio of your own knowledge and other people's knowledge through what they've lived, and other professional people's knowledge who've been studying for over 10 years at university in psychology, psychiatry, mental health, addiction. And because of Instagram and the way the world is, bang, you can call yourself a sober coach. I'm 1 year sober. Bang, I'm a sober coach. I'll tell you what I did. This is my program. Do this workbook. Thank you very much. And there's some sober coaches who I'm sure are great. I'm sure they are. But everyone who's got sober has got sober because they wanted to, and they had it within themselves to get sober. They might not have had the tools to work out how to get there. They might need some tips and hints onto how, like on Tomb Raider, where a mate at school would have to go, no, the rock, you tap that 3 times and it slides and then you go through the door. You might need that. which a sober coach can be fantastic for. But that's their limit, I think. That's their limit. They can point you in the right direction. So that asks a question: if all you need is pointing in the right direction to whatever like avenue of sort of recovery you want to go down, do you need a coach? Because I've came from a sporting background where coaching is essential in a rugby team or a sports team, but I don't necessarily deem it essential in mental health and getting sober and life. It is a luxury that a lot of people can afford and can hopefully make a good decision about and like pick the right one for them. But I just think people need to go easy on jumping into a program that is been made on Microsoft Word in probably the space of a week and being rolled out worldwide because of Instagram or other social media. And it's like, is it really getting to the root of the problem, or is it just snipping the thorns off the roses and not actually, you know, getting to the bottom? Why is all of this happening? Because that's the real thing of where real recovery happens. That is recovery, is getting rid of the alcohol so you can actually work on who you are, which often is a bit of a shell. It was in my case, and that is sort of what alcoholism does to people. It just takes away all of their meat and bones inside, and you're just sort of a bag of skin, like a ball bag. You are a ball bag at the end of alcoholism, but you are still there, and you are still a ball bag. Is still very much there, isn't it? Even though there's not a testicle in it anymore, it is still there, and nothing can take that away from you. But what I'm saying is, to become a ball again, you might not need a coach, you might not need a podcast, you definitely might not need this video, but you might need professional help, is what I'm trying to say. You really might need professional help, and professional help can seem intimidating and scary, but it isn't. It really isn't. It's often a normal person who's been through something similar to you, who has years of experience of working with people just like you, maybe worse, probably worse, and it's fine. You will leave feeling amazing, and you will leave with tools that you never thought you would be able to use or have. So yeah, that's the Daily Dirt.